to see it, and panels. So I just want you all to go absolutely nuts. Stop stamping your feet. Do better than that, Liverpool. Stop clapping your hands. And give the most monumentous scream ever for your Flash Gordon 40th reunion anniversary panel, Sanjay Jones and Brian Blessed. Just do this now. Should we just hand over to Brian now? Gentlemen, how are you doing?
These look so phallic, don't they? It looks like kind of.
Mr. Blessed.
It's like a robot's dick, doesn't it? A Dalek's dick, doesn't it? Exterminate. Sorry.
All the small children. You can bring them up here, and I'll cover their ears, or you can cover their ears if you want.
Gentlemen,
I love the little time here. Look, we have a timer, Brian. Let me tell you what that 43 minutes to Brian Blessed. It just means freaking warm-up, okay?
This is going to be interesting.
I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, I just got back. I was here yesterday, of course, and I've done a one-man show down in Somerset, down that way. And I'm doing this one-man show in front of 2,000 people last night, all cheering, and so I've come back up again, and I haven't a bloody clue where I am. This is Liverpool, isn't it?
It is, Brian.
And I just want to announce here and now that Sam is not gay. All right, I am, but he isn't. So it's I want to say, of course, there's one thing you want to hear more than anything else, and it is Gordon's alive! I should say it periodically. I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, before Sam speaks, that I shall allow Sam to speak in a minute and so forth, but I think he's a divine, wonderful Flash. As a boy, I saw the black and white version with Buster Crabbe. I tried to get him in the film with Dino in the opening scene, that he would take Flash to the plane, and he wouldn't wear it because Buster Crabbe was 6'3", 4", in great form, silver hair, and he begged to be in it. But he was a great Flash Gordon, but didn't compare to Sam. I think the film Flash Gordon is a great film because it has a. And now, of course, it gets 4 and 5 stars. They appreciate it more and more. In the fact that it has a great comic strip style. They must never try and repeat it. It was beautifully cast. The music is sensational. And to find the perfect Flash, we did with Sam, because he has to have a bubble of purity around him. And Sam does that quite beautifully. And I think the film is a huge success. I must say, I had enormous fun on it. They actually, of course, they put the wings on me, and I couldn't bloody sit down. And so they built me a perch. They built me a perch, so I was rocking backwards and forwards, and all the camera crews were going, pretty Polly, pretty Polly. They go, oh, fuck off. And so anyway, don't listen. We'll cut the fuck out. What do we know? I have to tell you that when I met the Queen over several years, I'm so famous. And
he's talking about me. Whenever you hear the word Queen,
and the Queen,
he's talking about me.
And the Queen, Buckingham Palace doing the Christmas show each year, and she came forward and said, "You know, Mr. Blessed, we watch Flash Gordon all the time, me and the grandchildren. Would you mind saying Gordon's alive?" So I said, "Gordon's alive!" Thank you so much. So everywhere you go, the prime ministers, they all want to hear Gordon's alive. And the whole film, I think, is a masterpiece of music and direction. I mean, I'll never forget, of course, that there's that wonderful scene with rocket ship Ajax. We attack it, of course. You know, when you see Batman and Superman and things like that, which I love them, but you see 3 or 4 people flying. But in our Flash Gordon, that Hawkman scene, we had over 1,000 people flying. It never happened before. That wonderful kind of sky in the background, and coloured sky. It was always black skies, but we had coloured skies. And Sam leading the whole thing, very Henry V. Anyway, at the start of we invaded rocket ship Ajax, I'm kind of in my wings and so forth, and we got ready, and it took about 3 or 4 days, weeks, to get the special effects ready. Right, Brian? Are you ready? Stand back, action! Impetuous boy. Oh well, who wants to live forever? Squadron 40, die! And I had a bazooka made of cardboard. And I came. I said, cut! Brian, we put in the special effects. I have never felt such a tit. Would you like to say a few words?
No, it's the only, this is wonderful, isn't it? It's the only time that when we do our Q&As, it's all about me, but I never get to say a word, and I absolutely love it. Isn't it great? No, this for me, this is, you know, we don't get to see each other this much because obviously Brian lives in England, I live in California, and so when we come together like this, I'll just be honest. For me, even though I'm sitting right here on stage with him, I feel like I'm the audience. I just want to sit back, shut up, and listen. No, I tell you, it's a real treat for me. It really is.
I mean, it was. I kind of raced to the studios. I did that with that and Henry V, Ken Branagh. I want to say about the extraordinary thing, which I've never asked Sam before, in the fact that you know. If you were casting Flash Gordon, I mean, you would say, look at Tom Cruise, who's got a lovely face, and I love him as an actor, and any of the kind of...
and he's not gay either, is he?
And all the kind of young American actors and so forth. Matt Dillon, all of them. But we'll just take Tom Cruise. Now, he has a beautiful face and a beautiful smile, but you can put a camera in a certain direction, and he will look sinister slightly. Now, with Sam, when he appears, whatever camera angle, Sam looked pure. So to cast the perfect Flash Gordon, and I've always felt that Sam has within him this great purity. And then we had the Shakespearean actors in the production, very experienced actors, Max von Sydow as Ming. At the end of the film, when Ming is dying, etc., Sam, that machine comes forward and everyone says, stay still, Flash, says Dale, and this machine comes across here because it kills people. And it says, hail Flash Gordon, saviour of the universe, you have saved your Earth. And there was a pause. And all these Shakespearean actors, including me, we then didn't know quite how to end the scene. And Sam says, I know. And out of his extraordinary purity and imagination, he said, the machine came along. Oh, stand still, Flash, said Dale. He says, hail, Flash Gordon, you have saved your Earth. Yes. And Sam went, yeah! And that was all it needed. Yeah. And it was out of purity that marvelous, he suddenly jumped up and went, yeah! And nobody would have thought of that in its simplicity. I think that Sam has a kind of holiness and purity in it. It's very fascinating, the idea that it was easy for the actors to play their parts. Not so. A lot of the actors struggled in scenes of this, that, and the other. And Max von Sydow, I don't know if you know this, who played Ming.
Tell him the story about who Max found in his room.
And he certainly came to Max he came up to me on my perch and he said, Brian, I don't know how to play Ming. What? Because I'd seen him in all the Bergman films, being sensational, you know, The Seventh Seal, this legendary actor. I don't know what. I said, well, I saw you, Max, in the Quiller Memorandum, torturing somebody and you cracked your finger. And I said, that is me. In the fact that he's a wizard. Yes. He's a magician. And he uses his hands, and he's also is very sexual. In the fact he has potions for his women. I mean, he even attacks Dale a little bit, invades her privacy. He's a sexual creature. Use your hands. And he did. I mean, it sounds very big-headed by me. And so when you see him come on, and particularly in the scene, brilliant scene, I think between Flash and Ming, in my palace, my Hawkman's palace, when they're alone, the twosome, I think that's reminiscence of the devil and Jesus. Yes. And the fact that the devil in the Bible, for 40 days and 40 nights, Jesus goes out there, and the devil then tempts him. Come on, you can get water, you can get wine, you can change that rock into meat and food. You're the Son of God. And Ming tempts Flash. He offers him a kingdom. He offers him an earth. He offers him things. And he says, I've never met your like before. And Sam conveyed it beautifully with fabulous purity. So I think, you know, of course I'm wonderful as Voltan. I mean, I'm without doubt the greatest actor in the bloody world. I'd like to say here and now, let's make this clear that Sir Ian McKellen, Sir Derek Jacobi, Sir Kenneth Branagh, Sir Patrick Stewart, and all of them, compared to me, are absolute shite. I am without doubt the greatest actor in the world, nevertheless. And I have no vanity about this, it's common knowledge, love. I love myself, I just adore. I look in the mirror and I see a Yeti, I see a gorilla, and I think, oh, I fucking love you. So, who's that keeps walking up and down? I'll shoot you, you bastard. No, anyway. Christ almighty, don't you know who I am? I am huge. I'm huge in fucking Tenerife. I've never won anything. I did my film Galahad of Everest, which I went to Everest and they filmed me. And then the BBC said, you've won Best Actor at the Tenerife Film Festival. What for? I haven't made a film for 2 years. For Galahad of Everest, because it was called Galahad of Everest. So I don't act in it. I climb a bloody mountain. I don't act in it. And I went to Tenerife. And there was Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Kevin Costner, and Daniel J-Lewis, the last of the Mohicans on my right. I went on the stage in Tenerife. I said, thank you very much for this award. And they gave me, and it was a bone on a rock. And I took it back home and my fucking dog ate it. That's the only thing I've fucking won. And my dog ate it, the bastard. Sorry, I'm not supposed to swear. But I also would like to say that in Flash Gordon, those fucking dwarfs got in my eye line all the time, you know. So I'll never forget the number two was Mike, the director, said, you can direct this bit here with Brian. And he said, oh, just right then, on doing this shot with Brian at Ming's Palace at the beginning, and I would like to say quietly that without doubt, Brian is the greatest actor who's ever lived. Isn't that right? Yeah, and he needs absolute silence. Is there anything you want, Brian, before we do the take? Get those fucking dwarfs out of my fucking eye line! Because I did this because these dwarfs, love, these dwarfs were in these uniforms and help us, and they couldn't breathe. That's the only way I could keep them happy. I insulted them all the time, and this, that, and the other. But there was a point in it at the beginning in which suddenly Ming's daughter brings on, they suddenly shouted, Deep Roy! Calling Deep Roy! And I thought, I'm going to see Geronimo. I'm going to see a giant. And on walked a guy 18 inches high. And it was it Deep Roy came on. And he said, you know, Brian, he said, he sat with me, he said, no, Brian, you know, he said, I'm not a midget, and I'm not a dwarf. I'm perfectly formed. I've always meant to ask him how big his cock was. I know you didn't expect this first thing in a moment. are things you do. I must say, there's one thing when Flash comes to my city, and the guy playing Clytus, Peter Wingard, who could be edgy, nice guy, but always a bit prickly, you know. And Flash, of course, in the middle of the scene, and Baron, they pick up the Clytus, the evil Clytus, and throw him on those spikes on my set, and he kills him. And Peter Wingard, with wonderfully vain, said, I don't think I should die. I don't remember. I don't think I should die. I think I'm going to be so popular that I'll do the next film, it'll be about Mars, whatever it is. But I don't think so. I'm going to be very, very popular. And the director could get quite hot-tempered. Nice guy, nice guy. He said, look, I know you die. Flash picks you up and Flash then throws you on these spikes and then you die. I said, no, I don't think I should. And I said, well, I'm not going to fucking die. I'm playing Voltar. I died in my last bloody film. I was killed in battle. I'm not going to die in this bugger. So because I'd try and lighten the occasion, you know. And I'm not going to die. And he continued to say, I don't think I should die. And the director said, yes, you do. You come on. You insult everybody. You frighten everybody. And Flash picks you up and he throws you on the props and you fucking die. And that's it. The bastard will die. I shouldn't tell you these things. Because you're possibly filming this, aren't you? This could be seen on Mars. You never know. Anyway, I'm sorry about the swearing, but Sam said I could. Sam knows more swear words than I could ever fucking claim. He is a sexual animal. He is wild from kind of John O'Groats to fucking Philadelphia, right up to Resolute in Canada. He has shagged anything that moves. So these are things about Sam you don't know. Isn't it true, Sam? Yes. No. He said yes. Anyway, ask him a question. Ask Sam. I ought to say that Sam's performance in it is beatific, it's beautiful, it's stylized, it has great purity. I don't know, I get the feeling that, are you a very religious man, Sam?
Well, being around you, I have to be. I have no choice. I mean, my God, I wouldn't have it any other way. Are you kidding me? Why do you think I'm sitting all the way over here?
Did you know that they wanted to have Buster Crabbe as Flash's father? It would have been a great idea, wouldn't it, at the beginning?
And the reason why, when you tried to bring him on board in the movie,
yeah,
the reason why the director did not want him,
why?
Because he wasn't gay. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
He wasn't gay.
No, but I must say this about Buster Crabbe, incredible guy. After the movie was finished, he did join me in the U.S. to help promote the film. We actually did a couple talk shows together. And a lot of people don't know that Buster Crabbe was also Tarzan, also Buck Rogers, also gold medalist in swimming, and he played a character called Captain Gallant. Yeah. I'm going to turn it back to you. Okay.
Absolutely. You see, he knows a lot. He's not as dumb as he looks. That's a terrible thing to say. It's Muhammad Ali who said that, wasn't it? He used to say to people, you're very clever. You're not as dumb as you look. Muhammad Ali used to say that to his opponents, didn't he, all the time? No. But I raced to the studio to be in it. And Dino Laurentiis was very kind of mafia. Every time he came in the studio, he buggered up the film. People got so scared. Not Sam, not me, but the director got nervous, wardrobe got nervous. And he would arrive with 5 or 6 men in black. And they had bloody guns. So I was like, Dino, what are you doing here with bloody men with guns? And when I was hanging upside down, because I was a hawkman with the wires on, I had to have an extra wire because of my weight, and I had an extra wire around by my bollocks to lift me up because I had all the lines. And I'm hanging there, and then Dino came in, and everyone's getting nervous, and nothing's getting on. I'm hanging up there, and I'm almost becoming unconscious. And I said, nobody did. I said, Dino, fuck off, get out of the fucking studio. When you come, you cost money. Which that mate registered with him. You cost us money. Every time you come, I said, people get scared, we don't get this done, everyone, the director's affected, and I'm hanging up here on my bollocks. Now please, Dino, fuck off. He's no kid. The kid tells me to fuck off. I will leave, Brian, I will leave. But he was a menace, wasn't he? Ooh, he was a very dangerous guy.
He was from the old school. A lot of people didn't even know at that time he'd already completed a couple hundred films. But yeah, I remember, he controlled everybody and everything except for Brian, obviously. But if I wanted an extra pair of socks or another pair of shoes, it had to be approved by Dino De Laurentiis. And we're talking about a $35 million film in 1979. So if you do the evolution of the math, today's economy, about a $222 million film is the equivalent of 1979. So, yeah, but it's funny, when we met with Michael Hodges a couple of years ago, our director, it was really something to witness when we started asking these questions to Michael, saying, and I had some unanswered questions myself, being a young 23-year-old. And I just asked him, I said, Michael, what was going on between you? Brian had more insight about the relationship between the director and the producer, but I just wanted to know, if I made any mistakes at that time, because I was so busy, I didn't really have time for anything except filming and rehearsal and filming. And long story short, it was a fascinating answer when Michael said, he basically said, Sam, and this substantiates what Brian just said. He said, when I showed up on the set and Dino was there, we had this plan, but by the time Dino and I were done discussing today's plan and today's schedule, we didn't know what the frick it ended up being. We didn't know what the hell we were going to do, and this was the end result. Well, let me tell you something. For a couple of leaders like the producer and the director to have a certain plan and then it turns to bollocks at the end of the day, the end result is what it is, which I think it turned out pretty darn well.
Really?
Yeah. So a lot of improvisation, and of course with Brian's help, and he brought that magic. There's only one Voltan, and here he is. It's one.
He's quite right, as I am, being the greatest actor in the world, and I'm quite humble about that. I accept it, When they said to me, Brian, when you climbed to the top of Mount Everest, when you're on the top, what did you say when I find out the oldest man to climb Mount? I just said, my God. And a voice from below said, yes. So I always look down on God slightly in that way. He's subservient to me. Aren't you, God? You could hear. But in those opening scenes in Ming's palace, we were in there for about 6 to 10 weeks. All, kind of thousands of extras and people and dwarfs and this, that, and the other. And with Sam and this. And the Ardentian women were in white makeup and white dresses. I was on my perch. And I'm quite serious, I don't see myself as a sex symbol, Sam, etc. And there I was on my perch. And Timothy Dalton, who looked like Errol Flynn, said to me, one of the leading ladies, the Ardentian ladies, she was very Renaissance figure, and enormous breasts, and not quite my type really, but she's, and this bugger all I can do because I'm on a perch, and I've got wings on. And anyway, one of the girls came forward after a few weeks and said, excuse me, Mr. And anyway, Timothy Dalton said, oh, I don't know, fancy her. Oh, she's gorgeous, Magda. Oh, I've got to date Magda, I've got to date her. This big, lovely, beautiful girl, Renaissance girl. And the girls came towards me slowly, and one of them said, excuse me, Mr. Blessed. They always talk like that, don't they? Excuse me. Magda thinks you're lovely. She really thinks you're lovely, Brian. She said, she could see you as a caveman. And a caveman, I thought, what the fuck are you doing? And I thought, what does she expect me to do? If I could go over and hit her with a club, drag her across the studio and shag her? What did she want me to do? I said, I can't, love, I can't. I said, I've got black makeup on, and I'm on this perch. It took me half an hour to get my wings off. I can't come. I said, but Timothy Dalton over there thinks she's gorgeous. Look, he looks like Errol Flynn. She said, she doesn't like him. So there's nothing you can do with it. If they don't fancy it. He was very disappointed. But Max, Ming.
Tell them the story on who they found in his room. You got a call.
Yeah, that's right.
You got a call. Go ahead, tell them.
Max kind of came up to me and said, Brian, oh God, there's a woman in my dressing room and she's in the bath naked, you know. I don't know what to do. I said, what the fucking hell? And I went in there and there she's in the bath naked. I'm getting myself ready for Max because I want to make love to him. I said, he's got a fucking bad ulcer. He's happily fucking married and he's missing his fucking wife. Get out the fucking bath for fuck's sake. So I picked her out the bath, dried her off and got fucking rid of her. This is true.
Moral compass of the world.
I have to say that when Max died at the end, because I was always having fun on the set all the time, you know. And we do shots of me when he was fighting, that brilliant fight between him and Dalton. And they did it themselves. They didn't have stuntmen. Wonderful. I was saying things like, give me the remote control. People still say, give me the remote control. And I had this remote control, and I used to unscrew it. I used to unscrew it so it would fall apart during as I said it. And I would say, what the special effects? Look what you've fucking done to me. What have you done to my fucking scene and my character? And I'd give me the remote control. And then it would fall apart. What a thing.
Yeah, Brian had this unique, this uncanny, unique ability. Because he wanted to get magic. If the scene was just okay, even if it was above average, Brian wanted to make it great. And the way he did it, things like this, he would make things happen where it would be fresh, and he would get reaction out of you even if you didn't want to do it. For instance, you want to tell me to tell him when Melody crossed in front of you, and you took your hand and you grabbed her ass.
Yes. You see,
that gets reaction from somebody when the camera's rolling and you don't expect it. And he would do that. He would take the remote control, tear it apart, and that would create something alive on film with immediacy, and you would get that fresh, natural reaction. Whether you're taking the remote control apart or grabbing somebody's ass, it all works.
The thing was that you're halfway, you're nearly not halfway, the third way through the film, and you think now that Flash is safe. I said to the director, when Sam's brought to my kingdom, captured by my Hawkmen, and brought along to my Sky City, and then Zarkov comes along, and then Dale comes along as well. And she goes, oh, Flash! And so, for a second, I said, you mustn't think that this is the end of the film, that we've rescued Dale, and that Sam has been rescued, etc. I said, I am an agent of Ming. I do my Hawkmen. What have I got? 10,000 of them. But Ming has. I suddenly saying, Zarkov saying in the middle of the scene, you know, you can get together, you can do this, you can do that. And I say, what? Against the Imperial fleet? We got a fleet there as big as the solar system. He's got 10 million bloody troops. He's got spaceships. I've got flying birds.